Hey there, welcome back to our Aptos developer course. Today we're going to explore something that's absolutely crucial for any developer looking to build on Aptos. And that's the tools and ecosystem that make it all possible. So when I first started out working with blockchain technologies, I was overwhelmed by the sheer number of tools and concepts I had to understand. But let me tell you, having the right tools at your disposal can make all the difference between a smooth development experience and pulling your hair out in frustration. Aptos, being a relatively new player in the blockchain space, has been built with developers in mind from the ground up. The team behind Aptos has put together a suite of tools that not only make development easier but also more secure and efficient. In this video, we're going to take a tour of this ecosystem. We'll look at the Aptos CLI, which is essential for Aptos development. We'll explore the various SDKs available, get into the move prover for those of you who love the idea of mathematically proving your code's correctness. And we'll also check out some essential tools like the Aptos Explorer and Faucet. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of the Aptos development ecosystem. You'll know what tools are available, when to use them, and how they can supercharge your development process. So let's start with the CLI first. Now, if you've been following this course, you already know what the CLI can do, but today we're going to take a closer look at this powerful tool. The Aptos CLI, or command line interface, is your direct line to the Aptos blockchain. It's compact, versatile, and incredibly useful. Whether you're compiling move modules, managing accounts, or interacting with the Aptos network, the Aptos CLI, or command line interface, is your direct line to the Aptos blockchain. It's compact, versatile, and incredibly useful whether you're compiling move modules, managing accounts, or interacting with the Aptos network. Let's start with installation. If you haven't installed it yet, it's super easy. Just run this command. Once installed, you can check if it's working by running aptos ---- version. Now let's talk about some key features and commands. One of the most basic yet crucial commands is aptos init. This command sets up your local Aptos development environment. It creates a new account for you and generates a config file for you. Now we've already done this in the first video of the series in detail, so I'm just giving a recap here. So you can run aptos init. When you run this command, you'll be prompted to choose a network like DevNet or testnet, and it'll create a new account for you. This is typically your first step when starting a new Aptos project. Another important command is aptos account. This command allows you to manage Aptos accounts. For example, you can check your account balance with aptos account list. But the CLI isn't just for account management. One of its most powerful features is its ability to compile and publish move modules. Let's say you've written a move module and you want to deploy it to the testnet. You'd use these commands. The compile command checks your move code for errors, and the publish command deploys it to the network. Pretty neat, right? But wait, there's more. The CLI also allows you to interact with your deployed modules. For example, if you've deployed a module with a function called initialize, you can call it like this. Now I know we are throwing a lot of commands at you, but don't worry. You don't need to memorize any of these right now. The Aptos CLI has excellent built-in help. If you ever forget how to use a command, just add help at the end of any command. Aptos move compile help. This will give you a detailed explanation of how to use the command and what options are available. One last thing I want to mention about the CLI is its ability to help you with testing. The Aptos move test command allows you to run unit tests for your move modules right from the command line. This is incredibly useful for catching bugs early in your development process. Now let me show you some more commands which are not that useful at the start but will be in the future. One powerful feature is the ability to manage and interact with different networks. You can switch easily between local, testnet, and mainnet environments like this. Now that we know how to use the CLI, let's talk about the Aptos SDKs. While the CLI is great for direct interaction and scripting, SDKs are your go-to tools when you're building applications that need to interact with the Aptos blockchain. Aptos provides SDKs in multiple languages, primarily TypeScript, Python, Rust, Go, and more. This multi-language support is fantastic because it allows developers to work in the language they're most comfortable with. Let's break down each of these. Aptos developers primarily focus on the TypeScript SDK, which is perfect for building dApps with front-end interfaces and for server-side development. Let's break down some key features. Account management. The SDK provides multiple ways to create and manage accounts. You can generate new accounts, derive accounts from private keys, or even use derivation paths. Network interaction. The SDK allows you to easily interact with the Aptos network. You can query account information, fetch account resources, and even use move view functions. Transaction building and simulation. One of the most powerful features is the ability to build and simulate transactions. This allows you to preview the cost and effect of a transaction before actually submitting it. Data fetching. The SDK provides a variety of methods to fetch on-chain data, including account information, modules, and tokens. One of the great things about this SDK is that it abstracts away a lot of the complexity of interacting with the blockchain. It handles things like transaction construction, signing, and submission. making it much easier for you to focus on your application logic. For example, let's say you want to transfer tokens. With just a few lines of code, you can build, simulate, and submit a transaction. If the simulation looks good, you can then submit the transaction. This code handles all the complexities of creating a transfer transaction, simulating it, and preparing it for submission to the network. Also, the Python SDK is great for scripting and backend development. Here's a similar example in Python. The Python SDK offers similar capabilities to its JavaScript counterpart, making it easy to interact with the Aptos blockchain in Python environments. Now, you might be wondering which SDK should I choose? Well, it largely depends on your project requirements and your team's expertise. If you're building a web app, the JavaScript SDK is probably your best bet. For data analysis or quick scripts, Python might be more suitable. If you're building high-performance applications or working on core blockchain infrastructure, Rust could be the way to go. Remember, while these SDKs are powerful, they're just tools. The real magic happens when you combine them with your creativity and problem-solving skills to build innovative applications on Aptos. Alright, let's talk about something that might sound a bit intimidating at first, but is incredibly powerful. Formal verification with the move prover. Now you might be thinking, formal verification, that sounds like something out of a math textbook, and you're not entirely wrong. Formal verification is a method of proving or disproving the correctness of a system with respect to certain specifications or properties. In simpler terms, it's a way to mathematically prove that your code does exactly what you intended to do, no more, no less. When it comes to smart contracts, where a single bug can potentially lead to millions of dollars in losses, this kind of certainty is invaluable. That's where the move prover comes in. The move prover is a tool that allows you to write specifications for your move code and then automatically verify that your implementation meets these specifications. It's like having a super-powered code reviewer that can catch logical errors that even the most thorough human reviewer might miss. Let's take a look at that simple example. Say we have a function that's supposed to transfer tokens from one account to another. We might write a specification like this. The specification says that the function should abort if either account doesn't exist or if there's not enough balance. And after the transfer, the sender's balance should decrease by the transfer amount and the recipient's balance should increase by the transfer amount. The move prover will then analyze your code to ensure it meets those specifications under all possible conditions. To run the move prover, you typically use a command like this, Aptos move prove. If the prover finds any issues, it will provide detailed feedback about where your implementation doesn't match the specification. Now, I'll be honest with you, writing good specifications and using the move prover effectively takes practice. It's not something you'll master overnight, but the payoff is huge. By using formal verification, you can catch subtle bugs before they make it to production, potentially saving yourself and your users from costly errors. That being said, it's important to remember that the move prover isn't a silver bullet. It can only verify what you specify. If your specifications are incomplete or incorrect, you might still have vulnerabilities in your code. Always combine formal verification with other security practices like thorough testing and code reviews. Now let's say you build something and you deploy those contracts and now want to look into those transactions. For that, we use block explorers, specifically the Aptos Explorer and other essential tools in the ecosystem. First, let's talk about the Aptos Explorer. If you've worked with other blockchains, you're probably familiar with block explorers. They're like the Google of the blockchain world, a window into all the transactions, accounts, and smart contracts on the network. The Aptos Explorer is no different, but it's tailored specifically for the Aptos blockchain. You can access the Aptos Explorer at explorer.aptoslabs.com. When you first open it, you'll see a dashboard with recent transactions, top accounts, and network statistics. It's a great way to get a quick pulse on what's happening on the Aptos network. Another essential tool in the Aptos ecosystem is the Aptos Name Service, or ANS, accessible at aptosnames.com. Think of it as a domain name system for Aptos addresses. Instead of dealing with long hexadecimal addresses like 0xcd, etc., ANS lets users register human-readable names ending in .apt. For example, you could register mycoolproject.apt and use it instead of your long wallet address. This makes interactions with apps much more user-friendly. When you're working with the Explorer, you can paste any transaction hash into the search bar at the top, and you'll see all the details: who sent it, who received it, what it did, how much gas it used, and so on. What's cool is that if someone's using an ANS name, you'll see that displayed instead of their raw address, making transactions much easier to understand. Also, when you're developing your dApp, make it a habit to check your transactions in the Explorer. It's an invaluable tool for debugging. Did your transaction fail? The Explorer will show you why. Not sure if your smart contract is working correctly? Look up the contract address in the Explorer and you can see all the interactions with it. The Aptos Explorer isn't just for looking up transactions, it's also great for exploring smart contracts. When you look up a contract address, you can see all the modules published at that address, along with their functions and resources. This is incredibly useful when you're trying to understand how other contracts work or when you're debugging your own. These tools together, the Explorer and the ANS, form a powerful combination for developers and users alike. making the Aptos ecosystem more accessible and easier to navigate. Alright guys, let's wrap this up. We've explored the power of the Aptos CLI, your trusty command line companion for all things Aptos. We've looked into the world of SDKs, giving you the flexibility to build in JavaScript, Python or Rust. We've touched on the Move Prover, a tool that brings mathematical certainty to your smart contracts. And we've navigated the Aptos Explorer, your window into the blockchain. Remember, these tools aren't just nice to haves, they're essential for building robust, efficient, and secure applications on Aptos. Whether you're a seasoned blockchain dev or just starting out, mastering these tools will supercharge your Aptos development journey. Thanks for watching and happy coding. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thank you.